Hi, I'm Nancy Trimble, the LSIM deacon, and this is my husband Hugh, and we've been asked to talk about proportional giving as part of the Temple Talks for the Stewardship Campaign. We've both been members of Abiding Christ for over 30 years. I've been a parish nurse and am now on staff as a rostered minister. My husband has been president of the council for quite a number of years in the past and is now the financial secretary.
Hi. When we talk about proportionate giving, we're talking about generally using some percentage of income, whether it be household income or individual income, as a target for giving, or as a goal for giving. Not necessarily as a requirement for giving, though there are churches that make it an absolute requirement. But what it also means is that it's a way to give structure to your giving. It took a while for Nancy and I to get to a proportionate level. It took a lot of history, a lot of discussions, and a lot of prayer to come up with it. And it's not necessarily the same as it would be for someone else. You have to do what you're called to do for your family, and for yourself individually. Generally speaking, our history is that we started off with a relatively small weekly giving, which wasn't calculated at all against our income. We had a young child, new mortgage, all those expenses that go with coming to a new area and starting new careers. Over time, though, we found that we could start calculating in a percentage of our incomes and making that our goal for giving in a given week or month, or multiplied out for the whole year. And as our incomes increased, our giving increased as well. And interestingly, at least from my standpoint, our tax deductions from our mortgage that was declining over time was being replaced by our charitable giving, particularly the giving to Abiding Christ. So it's been an interesting history, and I think it's a history that other people can probably relate to as they come into our generation. I will admit there was a major recalculation of giving when we got to retirement time. First when I retired, and then when Nancy retired. And right now we're at a comfortable level. We're giving one amount that's dedicated to general giving, and then we have a different amount which is given for the building program. So that's about where we're at right now. Back to you, dear.
Well, one of the things to consider also, we've seen a lot of step charts every year that there's been a stewardship campaign, and we've really thought about how we can move up in the step chart toward a tithe or toward a proportional giving of our income. We've been blessed many times over in our lives with what has happened to us, and also how the church and we worked together. We've grown immensely because of the education and the theology of Abiding Christ and the preaching. And like any other business, we do need to keep things going, and we've seen an immense growth in mission outreach as a result of the giving that has happened in Abiding Christ. So considering this year's stewardship campaign, consider where you are, consider the blessings that you have received from God, and remember that everything that we all have is a gift from God that we should be good stewards of. Thank you for letting us come to you today.